Growing up in a college town, I've always been surrounded by people who are fairly similar to me. We all seem to be made up of the same ingredients. Everyone I know has college educated parents, lives in a similar neighborhood, and is on track to go to college after completing high school. While growing up in such close proximity to a university has its perks, at times I felt trapped. Everyone was expected to stay inside the box and never venture outside of Tuscaloosa. There seemed to be a perpetual cycle of graduating high school, attending a nearby school, and moving right back to town. No one ever got out, and no one ever wanted to. Most everyone was the same, and rarely did people capitalize on their ability to go to new places and meet new people who were different from them. As I mapped out my plans for college, I began to feel pressured to follow the normal pattern and stay close to home, but I knew that was not where I needed to be to thrive. Knowing the next 4 years were going to shape the rest of my life, I knew it was now time to break out of the mold and leave the squares behind. Now that I'm older, I watch people all around me continuously change themselves to fit the cookie cutter molds of society, oftentimes trimming away the things that make them unique and interesting in order to be accepted. Ironically enough, those weird, unusual things are the exact things that make a striking and enticing person. At a young age, I was given a glimpse outside of the bubble in which I lived. I spent my summers at Camp Skyline in Mentone, Alabama, which served as a home for girls across the country. I was also fortunate enough to dance with the Joffrey Ballet School in New York City for a few weeks at the end of each summer. After bearing witness to entire worlds outside of the little box where I lived, it was hard for me to come home and conform like everyone else. Having spent so much time in a city that flourished and thrived off of originality, diversity, and acceptance, I learned early on the importance of individuality. I saw firsthand how innovation stemmed from bold, outrageous ideas, and those who kept an open mind were the ones who benefited the most from these new creations. One simply had to be brave enough to stand undaunted in the face of judgment and remain steadfast in their pursuit of identity, never cutting themselves down to fit the mold someone else has made. I feel as though I've come to a point where I must decide if I want to follow everyone else and tessellate into the typical pattern, or if I'm ready to take a risk, be bold, and be a completely individual new person. At the end of my junior year, I began my quest to find the perfect school. I researched different universities all across the country, and I continuously felt drawn back towards Tulane. While still in a southern city, Tulane offers a unique environment that demands boldness and originality. While every student has similar core values, no two students fit the same mold. The school is a perfect place for me to carve out my unparalleled future.